at where the corners meet on the edges of this shape. And first of all, if I said this was 1 to 2.5, the first thing I would have to do is decide which one do I want to be 1. Well, it's going to be the vertical, so I'm just going to draw that right here. So there's a 1, and then I have to go 2.5 this way. 1, 2.5. So now what I got is I just simply drew, and I made it an arbitrary shape. I mean, not an arbitrary shape, but an arbitrary size. But this is the same exact ratio of height to width as this picture, okay? Now I'm looking at it and I have to decide how I want to draw this in there based on what I see. I know this corner's lower, this corner is not halfway up, so I'm going to start now to map this out. And I'm going to say that this corner here is about here on the height. This corner is just about in the middle, a little to the right. This one's to the right of that one, so that one's about over here. This one's probably a little more like over here. And this one's higher than this one, so this corner's about here. Now, since the proportion's the same, if I was to reduce this the same amount on both sides, I could actually get these to touch these, and it would touch the farthest most corners first. Now that's always helpful too, but in this case what I'm going to do is draw it the same way that it was on the book. So I'm going to line this one up here, and it's going to come down to about here. This one's going to go over to about here. This one will be up there, and then these will just come together. That looks pretty close to this drawing. So that's how you can do that. And again, this kind of thing is what you perceive this to be, and what you think it is not what it really is, and you have to use measuring to do that. Another example is one of these. Now you take, this box is very long, this is the same box on its end. So you take a box like that, most people will draw it and it'll look like this. Now, does that look like that? No. Well, what's wrong? Well, of course it's hard to, well, first of all, this line's pretty straight. This line over here is not. But see, what you think you see and what's actually there is not the same thing. So measuring like this is the only way to do that. And then measuring the relationship of this front shape to the back shape. Because you notice what I did here, that's a pretty common mistake. Most people say it's a long box, I gotta draw it long. Well, maybe as a symbol it's long, but it's not long in reality, and so that's how you do that. Okay, so that's it for lesson 6.